Yeah, part of the reason that I decided to be a single mom by choice, Carlos King, and use a donor and not have a father for liberty, not use a friend, not have a co-parenting situation is because I knew my circumstances professionally would put me in Candy's exact situation. And that I would very possibly end up paying child support for my own daughter. Absolutely, me, would easily be in a position to have to go in front of a judge.
You know, there are times when the truth has to come to light. And these are such times. Ebony K. Williams just honestly admitted that one of the reasons she decided to be a single mom is because she didn't want to have to worry about child support. And that's why she decided to go the surrogate route. You may be wondering, well, what do you mean? Well, that's why she was saying, I could have had a father for my daughter, but I would have been seen most likely as the higher earner. And if you know the way child support works, in most states, the partner who's at higher risk of paying child support is the partner who doesn't spend as much time with the child. And so she's a strong, independent, hardworking woman who is very focused on her career. She's admitting, hey, that would most likely be me if I was to get married. And she sat there and rolled the dice and said, I'm not doing this. You guys just heard her admit it herself. She sat there and thought, I could give my daughter a father, but what if he asked for child support? What if I got screwed in the situation? I could maybe ask a friend to carry the child, but then I might have to pay child support. And like we like to say here on the Coffee Pod, she did not want to drink that coffee. Now, for those of you wondering, Shisha, where have you been? Guys, I've been taking care of some business. I have an issue with, this is something that I've realized about myself and might be something that I need to improve on. Guys, I do this in life in general. This isn't me trying to be rude or taking the people in my life for granted or even my audience for granted. It's kind of something I've always done, especially when I know that it's not anything serious. I mean, it was important. It was very important. If you want to know what I was doing, search This Might Be a Rant with Shisha Zed. I released a video talking about what was going on with my channel. You can go search it and watch that video. But good to be back. And like I said, something that I've realized I have to work on is just more communication with, especially my audience, you, who I definitely do not take for granted. But back to the topic at hand. What I do have to give credit here to is a different angle that I did not see. And part of me is like, how did I not see that successful women would want to go the surrogate route? Not just because they can't find the dream imaginary man who does not exist. He doesn't exist. But also because they see it as a way to avoid paying child support. Women are good at protecting their money, a whole lot better than men are. And I know this not just from this video, but because I've spent the last year plus really focused on convincing men who value marriage in our modern day to protect themselves, if that's something that they value, with prenups, to have the courage to bring up that conversation. And speaking of divorce and prenups, this conversation was sparked by a divorce going on with this celebrity couple. Right? And I'm not going to go into detail about this. I'm going to ask our AI barista assistant, Ms. Coffee, to summarize this for us. Ms. Coffee, can you give us a little bit of context here? What sparked the conversation that has Ebony K. Williams out here telling us things that we already knew, but we appreciate the confirmation?
Baby, let me break this down real simple so everybody in the room can catch up. Kandi Burruss, Grammy-winning songwriter, Real Housewives of Atlanta, businesswoman with restaurants, Broadway shows, production companies, that Kandi.
Right.
She's the wife. Todd Tucker, her husband of 11 years, the producer she met while filming the show. Now, before they got married, Kandi did what most high-earning women should do. She had Todd sign a prenup to protect everything she built before he got there. Smart move. But here's where things get messy. Todd is now saying he signed that prenup under pressure, that he didn't have enough time, didn't have his own lawyer present, and that Kandi's team handed him the documents just hours before the wedding. And because of that, lawyers are now saying the whole prenup might get tossed out. Bravo footage is being pulled, arguments about duress, custody questions, the whole 9 yards.
Hours before the wedding. Hours before the wedding.
And what's at stake? Who? Not little things. We're talking Kandi's reported $30 million net worth, 2 minor children, and the very real possibility that Todd could walk away with millions plus child support from the same woman who was financially supporting the family this whole time. That's why this case has everybody's attention, because the consequences are huge.
Makes sense. Sounds like Todd is about to get paid, and Kandi should have gone to fathershaverights.com. Let's talk about the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Engaged and soon-to-be married men, a single prenup slip-up can cost you tens of thousands later. Waiting until the last minute or signing under pressure are the mistakes that sink most agreements. My step-by-step guide at fathershaverights.com built with expert attorneys James Sexton and the lead attorney, shows you exactly how to avoid every costly prenup mistake, all for the price of a couple of dinner dates. Tap the link pinned to the top of the comment section to safeguard your future and join the hundreds of soon-to-be husbands protecting their marriages the right way.
Todd on his social media has had this sort of like social media series, nothing I would call a webisode, but he has been promoting that he does a lot of daddy daycare. And he's been doing this for, in recent months. Do you think that was a part of strategy to show that he is being seen based on what he's showing as the primary caretaker?
Yeah, I don't have to think it.
I was gonna
say I don't have to think it, Carlos. I know it. And it's not necessarily, that's not a dig. That's not nefarious. That's just quite obvious, quite frankly.
Hold on, we're going to check this out. Because if that's true, that's kind of funny. Because what they're saying, guys, is he's posting photos and has a daddy daycare series, right? We're talking Eddie Murphy, Daddy Daycare, which, by the way, is an excellent movie. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. Have you guys seen that biopic, too, on Netflix? Good stuff. But in that movie, he's a dad who starts a daycare with other dads, and it's called Daddy Daycare. And it's like this comedy that's really fun to watch that would never happen in real life. Let's just be real. Just would never happen in real life, especially today. I feel like maybe back then, but, would never happen in real life. And right here, we're looking at Todd Tucker's Instagram. And right there, you see it, Daddy Daycare series. I don't want to show anybody's kids. It's something I'm very careful about. But I don't know. Let's see. Maybe he doesn't show them. Let's see.
What up, y'all? It's Daddy Daycare. We rolling today. Who we got back there over there? Who's that?
Ace Boogie.
And who we got over there?
We'll hide the faces, right? Got to protect the kids.
Blaze, Butterfly, and Ace Boogie. We're heading to school today. We want to say have a good day. Have a good day. What's our topic for today? What we want to tell?
I'm laughing at the meme right there of Candy Burst because the person who left this is pretty much saying these are lies. It's all being done. Maybe it's a strategy, but hold on, let's think about it. If Ebony K. Williams and women like her, right? Because she's just an archetype of many women out here. If those women are afraid, who've dedicated their lives to their career and decided that motherhood is something that comes second, they're afraid that when the courts hear that and see proof of that would increase the chances of giving primary custody to the father and put the boss babe at risk of being a boss and cashing out child support checks, right?
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Because that's what bosses do. But if that's true, then why would this be a lie? Why would Daddy Daycare be a lie? If she is the boss babe, high-earning woman, then somebody has to stay home. And by the way, you guys might not see this, but he's got the photo with him and his child. I mean, he's leaning into it. And I don't blame him.
When you see people start to show up in a public setting, which social media is as public as it kind of gets, right? Because it's real-time visibility, establishing a narrative, which may very well be true, may not be true, may be a little true and untrue, who knows, right? But they're establishing a narrative that cements them in a particular position. So he's saying publicly, hey, public and potential judge and whoever's assessing this,
right?
I need you to know that it is me that is primarily at home doing the daily caretaking of the children.
That's right.
I'm running the bath water. I'm preparing the meals.
Right.
I'm preparing any medicines they may take. I'm the one doing story time. Because why? My wife, per his claim, is out of town, out of the country, promoting Broadway shows, doing press for her incredible, works and projects and movies and films and all the amazing things she's doing. So while she's away kind of, getting the bacon, I'm playing Daddy Daycare at home, frying up the bacon, and I am holding down the home front. That is clearly, Carlos, what he has been trying to establish for the past several months, which bolsters his argument, his legal claim that that's why I should be designated the primary physical custodian. Because like you were saying, and using me as an example of what it looks like to be the working mom who's going to get the bacon. I'm out in LA getting the bacon. I'm on set getting the bacon. Somebody's got to get the bacon, but also somebody has to be home to fry the bacon because the children can't eat unfried bacon, using this analogy. So I would tell you, sidebar, This is sidebar. This is part of the reason that I used a donor. True tea.
Talk to us about it.
Personal story time. Yeah, part of the reason that I decided to be a single mom by choice, Carlos King, and use a donor and not have a father for liberty, not use a friend, not have a co-parenting situation is because I knew my circumstances professionally would put me in Kandi's exact situation.
So sad. So sad. She's saying this, but she doesn't realize that her daughter is one day going to say, I wonder why my mom didn't prioritize having a father for me. And she's admitting here on camera that part of the reason is because she just didn't want to lose her money. Like, come on. I mean, really think about that. Not only is that selfish, if you ask me, I believe it's selfish. What do you think? If you guys disagree, comment down below. Not only is it selfish, and listen, I would say the same thing if a man did this. If he went this route, because I believe children need both parents. They need mother and father. Now, society stresses the mother, and here you have her saying she's doing all this amazing things. All of a sudden, the household duties and being a stay-at-home significant other has no significance all of a sudden. But this is sad. And what this also teaches is this is why a lot of people believe that, no, you can't do what a man can do. You can't handle the pressure, the stress of being the boss, because then you'd have to pay the cost of being the boss, of being the boss babe. And no, that's not me saying that everybody should be on child support. We all know that it's mostly a scam that needs to be revisited on almost every front, but it exists. And right now, that's how children are taken care of. But do you think that Ebony K. Williams wants to be at risk of maybe losing her money and then being potentially locked up in jail because she can't? Come on, bro. Of course not.
And that I would very possibly end up paying child support for my own daughter. Absolutely. Excuse me. I would easily be in a position to have to go in front of a judge looking just like this and plead my own case for my own daughter that I carried and birthed to say, despite my travel schedule, my work schedule, my sometimes lack of real-time availability, I assure you I can make sure all of her needs are met, because that opens the door, Carlos, for exactly this, where a father, despite the relationship between me and the father, despite what we even previously agreed to, could then say, Your Honor, look at her. She's outside. She might be outside for very wonderful, noble reasons, but she's away from home. Children need, mom to be home. Mom's not available to be home. And so she has put her custody rights at risk from a legal standpoint. And I'm here to step into the pocket. I'm here to step into the role and play the primary custodian for my children. And that's a real risk, Carlos.
The male host there is putting his hand on his head like, oh no, why would that happen? Where does this happen? It happens all the time to men. Are you saying that men who spend time working consistently and being the boss should also not have to pay child support? I'm sure you wouldn't agree with that.
Is one of the reasons I'm telling you that women with high power careers that demand travel or time away, my daughter is being very well taken care of right now, Raindrops and Carlos. I assure you, I'm getting hourly updates from her nanny, who has been with her since she was 4 months old. She's in a lovely, preschool that she's been. So she's good. But if I had to argue this to a judge, it could go either way. And I wasn't willing to risk it going either way.
I hate to say this. I really hate to say this. Children need fathers. They're not good without fathers. Stop acting like men are disposable and it's whatever. The last video I want to check out here is by the lead attorney from the lead attorney clips. Head over there. Head over to the lead attorney clips. Subscribe. Check his new channel out. It's a new clips channel. I like it. The title of this video reads how Kandi could have perfected her prenup. Protect yourself. And let's check it out.
I have been on YouTube 4 years plus, and I should go back and look and pull up my videos. And I've been telling you this for years. What is the fourth thing? The first thing, attorneys. They got attorneys. Second thing, full disclosure. Sounds like a full disclosure. No problem. Third thing, kind of make it fair. Don't punish. All right? Fine. There's only one more thing that I've been telling you guys 4 years. What's the one thing I'll tell you?
Go and guess. Maybe you can figure out before he says it.
I'll tell you 6 months. 6 months. Get the prenup signed 6 months before the wedding. 6 months. Well, lead. It's only 5 months to the wedding. Is that no? Listen, 5 months, fine. 6 months, I'm just pulling it out of the air. It's a safe harbor. You can never go wrong with 6 months. If it's 5 months, fine. Fine. But 6 months, that's the gold standard. Just like having 2 attorneys is the gold standard. Can you do it with 1? Yes. 2 attorneys, gold standard. 6 months. Can you do it in 5 months? Yes. Can you do it in 4 months? Yeah, but 6 months is the gold standard. I've been telling y'all to get this damn thing signed 6 months.
A comment just popped up in the chat here that says, didn't he sign prenup 4 hours before wedding? Jeez.
Before the wedding. And look at this shit here. 4 hours?
That's crazy.
Candy. And so what is our man saying? He says, Todd signed the prenup on April 4th, immediately prior to the wedding ceremony. Candy's attorney at that time was fully aware that Todd was represented by me and had been actively communicating with me regarding the terms of a potential prenuptial agreement. So he's making it sound like there was no prenup at all. This was just a potential prenup maybe. So at the wedding, there was nothing. Then all of the sudden,
I sit here, man, and I encourage people, but I know for a fact that only a select few actually ever listen. And I'll never understand. I truly won't. And the question is, if you're a man who plans to get married, does value marriage in our modern day, what are you going to do? As always, going to check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. Top comment here says they both need to sit down with their lawyers and come up with an agreement because those lawyers about to hustle them out of a good portion of that money. This is very, very true. Very, very true. And this right here is what a lot of people don't understand is everybody now starts eating off your plate because they want to extend this thing as long as they possibly can. And they know that you're good for it for as long as you've got it. And so coming to a decision is best. Somebody else who says he kept stalling, signing the prenup. They had never negotiated the prenup back and forth for months. Somebody else who says Todd had an attorney. It's all on TV. Is it? So I don't know much about the TV shows and as far as that's concerned, but this whole situation is a mess. I believe she's seriously, seriously screwed. And hopefully this is a learning lesson to many. Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.